So our next speaker today then is Martin Tumajian from MagPlasma, speaking to the Breathing Zone Air Purification System. Martin?
All right, well, thank you, Chris. It's my pleasure to get a chance to present to you our Breathing Zone Air Purification device, or better known as BZAP. This device protects you from any airborne threat that your passengers or other folks you may come in contact with could be carrying, specifically anything that they're going to exhale and provide into the airborne area.
Martin, please
Yes.
take control of your presentation.
Okay.
There should be a take control right at the top.
I'm looking for, there we go. Okay. All right. All right, great. Thank you very much. So why do we need a system like the BZAP? Well, if you look at the height of the COVID pandemic, it was surprising to us to find that over 70% of officer line of duty deaths were due to COVID-19. Now, the threat from COVID has obviously decreased significantly since then, but there are still airborne threats from other diseases like tuberculosis, meningitis, etc. But there's also threats from unknown things that are going to come up in the next couple of years, just like the COVID pandemic hit, as well as the swine flu, bird flu, a few things in the past. There's all these potential unknown threats that are going to impact your ability to do your job. And with the focus on the health aspects of it, we want to make sure that you can go home to your families at the end of the duty day and not carrying something of an unknown threat back to them, or have something like a health effect take you out versus some of the more physically straining things of your jobs. So who would benefit from a BZAP? Essentially anybody who comes in contact with someone with an unknown health status, whether that's law enforcement, health, and or people just riding public transportation. If you interact with the public and you're interacting with people with unknown health status, the BZAP can help protect you from anything that they could be carrying. So there are a number of other technologies out there that are being used. Now, in this case, you have passive things like the N95 mask. We're all familiar with those from the COVID-19 epidemic. Center one is UV or ultraviolet light, UV light systems. Those are more active systems. And then supplied air systems like scuba on the far right. These all provide you different levels of protection. N95s are only really good if you wear them effectively, and they tend to protect people from you more than they protect you from them. Ultraviolet light can be useful, but it takes a long contact time, in order for them to be effective. For example, in order to get to a 99.99% kill, which is what the FDA requires for something to be considered an air purifier, UV radiation usually requires up to 25 to 30 minutes of contact time. So multiple passes through the system to get to that level of disinfection. And again, scuba gives you almost total protection against whatever's in the air. However, it's cumbersome, requires additional training, and it's a significant impact on your ability to do your jobs. So when we started this project with Homeland Security, we had a number of customer requirements that we had to meet. Bottom line, we had to make sure that our system didn't impact the ability for first responders to do their job. Whether you're law enforcement, you need to make sure that you can put a detainee in the back of your vehicle without having them be able to interact with it or cause any kind of communication issue. Or if you're a health provider, you need to make sure that you can access the person so you can provide medical care. We had to make sure that our system enabled you to do your job and was safe from mischief from the person you're working with. So we decided to provide was a defense in depth approach. Unlike other filtration systems that try to filter a whole car air or a whole room air, we're trying to actually capture the exhalation. So if someone breathes out these contagions, we're capturing those contagions, pulling them into our device, actively killing them. And then we also have some redundant filtration at the back end that provides an extra layer of safety and security to kind of keep your safety officers happy when you're working in the field. You can see the system on the right is a rendering of our generation 1 and 2 prototype. Essentially has a blower, active plasma, and the filtration. And this can be done in a modular design, so the components can be separated and basically installed around the vehicle or around a room, depending upon what your available space is. and what kind of mission you're trying to accomplish. The heart of our system is a plasma disinfection unit. You see the system on the left. That's essentially the plasma generated. So the purple glow is the active plasma. Very simple system. Basically runs at high voltage. It energizes the gases, takes it to what we call the fourth state of matter. So think of it as a highly energized gas. When these gaseous particles come in contact with the contagion particles, it essentially kills them on contact. Think of it as kind of like zapping them. So it's kind of, a very active approach to it. We've done a number of different trials with active viruses, and we've shown that we can kill, what we call 6 nines, so 99.99999%. So way above what the FDA requires to be air purification device, and obviously way above what an N95 mask. So an N95 mask kills 95%, to give you a comparison. And we do this very quickly, so less than a second. Actually, the latest tests we've had have been in hundredths of a second. So a single pass through the system kills whatever's in there, and then basically allows it to go into the car or be recirculated or sent out of the vehicle. We've already done a few installations. You see in this picture on the left, that's a Border Patrol vehicle. It's a Chevy Tahoe. We've done installation in the back. So right now, our third generation system is shown installed in the back. It's about 20 inches by 20 inches by about 9 inches deep. We're already working on our fourth generation system for a field test coming up. It's going to probably be about half that size in the end. And we're looking to see what we can do to continue to miniaturize it. Controls very simple. We have a touch screen on the right. So it's basically on off some indicator lights to show how it operates. And feedback we got from users from our first field test, actually, we're going to make this a lot easier. We're going to basically have an on-off switch, a couple of indicator lights, because our goal is to make it as easy on you as possible, so you just have to operate it. This thing needs to run in the background and just be something that protects you without you have to worry about, is it operating effectively or not? It's just going to work for you. I had a number of performance specifications when we started out. You see in the middle, the DHS specifications were the ones that they wanted us to meet. Threshold were the minimums. Objectives were the real targets that they wanted us to reach. And it had everything to do from power source, weight, ability to do its mission. On the right-hand side, you see what we did after our first SBIR phase 1 with our breadboard. We met all the criteria except for weight. We're continuing to work on weight. That's the only criteria we haven't met. Cost is continuing to improve. As you can see, the target was to be down around $2,000 per unit, but no more than 15. Right now, our expected cost in the field to you is about $5,000 per unit, and we're continuing to work to bring that down. So overall, fairly cost-effective solutions, very robust, easy to install, easy to maintain, and again, it's ability to not interfere with your day-to-day job. So how do we compare against the other things on the market? We mentioned before, N95 masks, UV light, supplied air. As you can see from the top, we're the only technology out there that provides you kind of a full breath solution. We do point source capture. We have a secondary effect that we can actually do the full exchange within a vehicle or room. Right now, our system would exchange about every 2 minutes all the air within the vehicle and disinfect that. So anything we don't actually capture on the first pull, we would capture on the secondary pull as we pull that air in. And as you can see, we are high contamination reduction efficiency on par with what a scuba would give you. And again, we're not intrusive. This is something that's not going on your face. It's not going on your patient or detainee's face. It's something that's just going to operate in the background for you. So current state of development, as I showed before, we have a third generation prototype that we did a field test with our customer earlier. We are working on the next generation that's going to go to the field in the next few weeks to do another field test so we can get some more feedback from users and make sure that we get this thing to be exactly what you guys need to make it effective for you. And finally, a little bit about us. We're a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business. We're in the Detroit metropolitan area. We were started with a focus on using plasma systems as a means of replacing, high temperature thermal systems. whether it's in manufacturing, disinfection, doesn't matter. If you're using a high temperature system for it, we can use the plasma and be, essentially more effective, faster, cheaper, better. It's akin to microwaving your food versus putting it in an oven. Same effect, just a different way of getting there. Lastly, our leadership team. I'm a former Army chemical officer, so focused on chemical and biological defense. Worked over 20 plus years for a large defense contractor, doing a number of projects for not only the military, but other facility agencies, heavily in chemical and biological protection and defense. My team are folks that have worked with me there and or have come from industry and bring a lot of experience to our solution for you. And lastly, our first responder engagement. We've worked with a number of first responders in our community around here, some local law enforcement, heavily with some hospital systems. But we'd love an opportunity to work with you to see what we can do to make our systems more attuned to what you need and able to, again, protect you, make sure you get a chance to go home at the end of the day. Our key is ensuring that a health threat doesn't take you out. You have enough things to focus on doing your day-to-day jobs and day-to-day missions. You shouldn't have to worry about what kind of other health effects could be something that you pick up from one of your passengers or detainees, and you surely don't want to bring these things home to your family. So our goal is to make sure that you're protected from all those things you can't see. And lastly, my contact information. Again, please reach out to me. I'd love to get your feedback over what you think you would need to make this better for you in the field, as well as what we can do to make this thing something that's going to help you, protect you in the long term, in the long run. So thank you for your time. I'd like to look forward to your questions.